So as for UPS WorldEase, it is, if you're not acquainted with it so far, UPS WorldEase is an international shipping service offered by UPS, which allows you to simplify your international shipping by these three key elements. First of all, consolidating multiple packages destined for the same country into a single shipment. Okay. So say, for example, that you have, I don't know, a batch of 40 orders that you want to ship. In a regular scenario, you would ship these 40 packages separately, okay? Each one with their own information, okay? Each one being a potential issue when it comes to customs or when it comes to information validation. So UPS WorldEase allows you to consolidate multiple packages destined for the same country into a single shipment, okay? We're going to talk a little bit about the logic into setting up these accounts in a few minutes. Then the second advantage of this is streamlining customs clearance because everything is consolidated as one unit. So those 40 boxes will be consolidated as just one, saving you a lot of time, effort, and obviously reducing potential issues, okay? And obviously, from a logistics standpoint, it simplifies supply chain operations because basically you're streamlining everything or you're lining up all your shipments under one transaction, saving you X amount of times the effort when it comes to handling these international orders. Now, how this works, if you haven't seen it yet, is that when you process a UPS WorldEase shipment, these are handled as a master shipment. And the master shipment has two key parts. One of them is what's called, well, the shipments as such, which are called child shipments. For example, if I would have that master shipment, which has 40 shipments within, each one of these 40 shipments within is going to be a child shipment. The individual packages being part of the master shipment. Okay. And then there's another part of it, which is the doc box. Okay. The doc box serves the purpose of containing just documents related to this consolidated shipment. Okay. This includes a master invoice for the whole shipment and also a consolidated invoice detail report of everything that's within it. So the structure, as you can see, is quite unusual based on a regular flow and will require a two-step process when you're handling orders via UPS WorldEase. From a practical standpoint, once you have a UPS WorldEase account set up, what's going to happen is that you're going to import your batch just like any other batch, okay? And as you process it, what TechSHIP will do is request the labels from UPS for that master shipment, and there's a batch for the doc box automatically generated for which you will have to access and print the documents within. But it's a really simple two-step process, which saves you, in that particular scenario, 40 times the work because you would have to process and handle each one of these 40 shipments as part of that batch individually. In this case, these can be consolidated into one, and you will only have two things to handle. The master shipment as such, with the label for the child shipments, and the doc box batch, which gets generated automatically and the label printed for it, as well as the docs, okay? Also, there's another element which is important to mention here, and that is that if you have electronic transmitted, if you have set up UPS to be paperless, the invoice information and everything will be transmitted electronically. So you're also saving time and work and potential issues by having that properly set up, okay? So to summarize the process here, what you should do, which I'm going to explain with a little bit more depth in the future, is you need to clone your regular account to have a WorldEase dedicated account profile. Then you set it up, you set the system to route through that in whichever way is possible within your TechSHIP portal. We're going to review these as well. And then you just process and print the batch, manifest, and you're ready to ship, okay? This is an example of these labels, okay? As you can see, it looks almost like a regular UPS label, but with a few details specifically dedicated to this particular use case. There's going to be a section for UPS WorldEase here, so you can identify this is not a regular label. When it comes to packages information is going to be down here. The port through which this will be shipped as well is required, and a few more things. But as you can see, well, EDI confirms that well, the invoice information was transmitted electronically. So yes, it's as simple as this. It sounds complex, but it's really, really simple and straightforward. So once you route, print, manifest, and you ship, and you're good to go. And let's get started. Let's do it. So UPS WorldEase, let's focus on this. Currently, what I have over here is a client, FZ Ideas, and I have several carrier accounts. Within these accounts, I have a UPS domestic shipment setup, okay? Over here, if I go into the section, I'm going to have my markups, I'm going to have rate shopping, reference, etc. And in the carrier options, the basic information, account number, package type, address validation levels, etc., etc. Now, WorldEase is going to be under a specific section for it, okay? So when I check WorldEase over here, I won't see any fields enabled until I actually click and check this option. The first detail to mention is that for WorldEase to properly operate on TechSHIP, you need to have it available for usage on UPS's end. You need to sign up and have WorldEase available and enabled for your UPS account, okay? Otherwise, even though you might have the option over here on our end, it's not going to work. So once you do have that set up on UPS's end, you can come over here to your client setup and the billing account to set it up. Now, the WorldEase options allow you to choose for the dog box this additional box that you're going to have for all the documentation related to the shipments. And you can choose the service code here, and you'll have to provide an address here, okay? Destination country code, postal code, well, EU consolidation if you're going to consolidate shipments for the EU. If it's tax exempt, you can do so from here as well. You can choose the payment terms over here, prepaid, free on board, DDP, okay? There are different options. And then the port name and information, okay? Because UPS WorldEase shipments get handles in port hubs. So that port will receive all these shipments and is going to basically funnel them towards the destination country. Now, given that this information is static per profile, say, for example, that you're shipping UPS WorldEase to Europe, okay? So you have your domestic account to ship within your country, but you are going to be shipping to two countries in Europe when it comes to consolidating shipments. You're going to ship to Spain and you're going to ship to Germany, okay? So or the UK. So if you're going to have this type of case scenario, what you should do is clone your domestic, your currently working and properly tested domestic billing account profile, and you're going to clone it targeting your client, okay? In this case, FZ Ideas. So as you do this and you save, you're going to see that you're going to have your regular account here, and you're also going to have an alternate account, which is the one we just cloned. This is the one we should modify, so everything is properly set for UPS WorldEase, okay? So for example here, I'm going to edit this billing account. And I'm going to change the name first of all. Okay, UPS. And I'm going to say WorldEase UK. All right. So doing it this way helps you properly identify, especially if you're going to have many options for UPS WorldEase. And over here, you would set up everything related to international shipping for this. And you're also going to enable WorldEase. As you do so, choose the service. Say, for example, that for the dog box label service, I'm going to use Express destination country code. I would fill out all this information and then save. Okay, it's as straightforward when it comes to the setup like this. I'm just going to save it. I'm not going to run the full setup here. I'm going to save it so you can see these side by side. And what you could do once you have your WorldEase, your first WorldEase profile set up, is clone it again if you have more destinations. And what you should do in that sense, let's say that we're doing again FCADS, we're going to save this, and this is going to tell us that this is a copy of the WorldEase account. I'm going to change this and I'm going to put ESP, okay, from España. And then in carrier options, I'm going to have everything that I set up previously. What I should focus on is changing the destination country code and the port information, okay? Once you got that, you save it and you're good to go. And that's how you set it up. You define a base for a WorldEase profile, make sure it is properly working, then you clone it, and as you clone it, you just change the port address and anything else that might be needed, depending on if you have slight differences in your case scenarios. But that's it. It's as simple as that. Now, when you process orders through WorldEase, okay, what's going to happen is that you're going to import your regular batch, and then what you're going to do is, as you process it, TechSHIP will create another one, which you have to find by manifest ID. When you find it by manifest ID, go in there, process and print. It's going to generate a zero charge label, obviously, because it's for the dog box. You won't get additional charges for that. And you're good to go. Just manifest and it's ready. Okay, consolidate your shipments again, going back to the diagram. Um, put all the documentation in the dog box and you're good to go. You create your master shipment doing it that way. Okay, but what's really important for you to take into account is that you'll need to create different profiles for different hub destinations when it comes to shipping WorldEase. Now, the question here is, how do I force my orders? How do I route my orders going to go through the specific profile? Because over here, let's say I'm going to create a few more clones so I can have basic data. Okay, let's go to FC ideas. Let's imagine that we're creating a clone for the Netherlands and another clone for Germany. Okay, so let's clone this over here. There we go. And then we're going to grab this copy. We're not going to enter all the port information. This is just for you to get an idea of it. Let's do the E here for Germany. And let's do NL for Netherlands. All right. Again, I insist you should go into carrier options, change the destination port, sorry, the origin port information, and that's good. Now that we have all these profiles, that the key question is, how do I tell my orders to go through these specific billing accounts? Okay. So there are many options for this. Depending on your TechSHIP package, you might have more or less tools for this to happen. The most straightforward way to do so is by setting routing groups if your WMS supports it, okay? By setting a routing group, you'll be sending a value which is either dedicated for this specific purpose or which is a custom field specifically assigned to contain information that will help you with routing. If that's the case, either if it's a native connection with a native integration to your routing group field, for example, if you're using extensive, you can use retailer ID for this. If you're using other WMSs, you can let us know, and we can map custom fields to the routing group value. And what you'll do here, say for example, for the Netherlands, is set the value that you're passing as part of the order, which specifically identifies this order as an order going to the Netherlands with the routing group. So for example, let's say that this routing group is going to be EUR for Europe NL. Let's say that this is the way we identify an order that is going to be sent via WorldEase. Well, not an order, but a master shipment. And going via WorldEase and targeting Netherlands. Okay, so a field in your WMS should have this value EURNL, and also make sure that it's properly mapped or configured in TechSHIP, either at the portal level or making sure that your integration, your WMS integration or the plugin does have native support to pass routing group information. As I save it, it's going to be natural that I do the same for the other countries. Okay, so if I grab Germany here, for example, I'm going to do EURDE. Okay, but the system needs to have the fields properly populated and mapped for this to happen. If you don't, okay, let's say that your WMS doesn't support this kind of field, doesn't support this kind of feature. So what you want to do is use, if you have TechSHIP Plus or TechSHIP multi-site, route these via OMR. So you could perfectly do so doing it this way. I'm going to say OMR. Well, the key element is that I need to target my account number, my account name for this to happen. So in this case, I'm going to target the the Netherlands one, okay? So if I go to OMR, I'm going to add a rule. I'm going to tell the system that whenever the country in the shipment equals NL, Netherlands, what I want the system to do is to use billing account name as the action, target a specific billing account, and then enter the WorldEase account name. Okay? By doing so, what I'm telling the system is whenever the country in the order matches the Netherlands, I could add more things over here, or just to clarify, okay? I'm just using the most basic setup possible, the most minimalistic but efficient setup. But if there are other elements to be taken into account, for example, let's say that in the terms, I'm detailing that this is a UPS WorldEase, okay? For example, UPS WE, right? So if I have another field, so my regular Netherlands orders are not affected by this setup, or that shouldn't go via UPS, that might go via FedEx or DHL or any other carrier, and that's fine. But if I somehow identify or separate these with additional conditions, that's fine. The more specific you can be, the better. Okay. Obviously, as long as you achieve the the purpose of telling one from another, a regular international order from a UPS WorldEase order. But in this case, what I'm doing by controlling this in the conditions and by using the billing account client name action, targeting the specific billing account for that, is doing sort of a soft mapping of or a soft routing of these orders to that specific billing account profile. So by doing it this way, whenever an order comes with the country code NL, and let's say that we have an additional field, could be anything here as well, that separates regular Netherlands orders from the WorldEase orders, we're telling the system you need to use this specific billing account profile. And this billing account profile is going to have what? It's going to have, well, references, the rate shopping options, a specific markup if you want to mark each country differently. Is going to have different options for address validation, the package type, the terms. Maybe for Germany, you're doing DDP, but for the Netherlands, you're not, and you're doing DDP, so it's prepaid. The ports might be different as well. Maybe you might consolidate for one of these, but for example, for the UK, you won't do EU consolidation. I mean, the spectrum of possibilities here is quite ample. But it's important that you understand the base idea and concepts behind this setup. That this information is required at the billing account level because this is key to generating all the proper information for this shipment, beginning with the shipping label. Okay. So well, once you got WorldEase set up, that's it. It's setting up a regular account, cloning it, defining different elements specific to WorldEase in there, and just import, process, print, and print Dropbox manifest, and you're good to go. Okay. Again, I insist, as you consolidate orders via WorldEase, you are saving X amount of work directly related to the X amount of shipments you could have or you might have within or under the master shipment. Okay. Could be two, or could be two packages, could be 200 packages, could be 2,000 packages, but you're doing the transaction of process, print, and ship once. You don't have 2,000 pieces of paperwork to get confused with. You don't have 2,000 labels that you might have potential issues with them. WorldEase has this capability to consolidate the shipments under just one umbrella and handle it that way. Okay, good. Manifesting is critical for UPS WorldEase because not only do you get the confirmation for the shipment, but also everything gets properly handled on UPS's end as well. And if you did EDI, you can have the peace of mind that everything is okay and UPS has effectively received the information because they provided positive feedback on the manifest and close. Okay, so this has been UPS WorldEase. Again, I insist this feature is in UAT status currently. Okay, so those that are interested in testing it, you can reach your CSMs, you can ask about this feature, um, and you can give us a hand also as you process your orders and you improve your processes to improve our implementation as well.